What up, YouTube? T-Movies here. It's reported that there's a new film coming down the pipeline titled Man and Witch that will be directed by She Wants to Be director Rob Margolis, and it has a really interesting cast. I mean, 80 like lots of 80s icons on this. The the cast for Man and Witch includes the likes of Tami Stronach, who of course played the childlike Empress in Never Ending Story. Who remembers Never Ending Story? I mean, uh, classic, classic film. Anyway, the other cast also includes the likes of Sean Astin from the Goonies fame, Rhea Perlman from Cheers fame, Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future fame, and Micah Emerson. The film is described by the producers as a heartwarming homage to the lo-fi fantasy films of the 80s and a comic adventure that both fulfills and subverts the expectations of what a fantasy adventure can be. Stronach will portray a elusive yet powerful and mysterious witch who loses her heart to a hapless goat herd when he hires her to break a curse by an evil wizard. Aiding to the lo-fi 1980s theme, the Jim Henson Creature Shop has been hired to create the puppets for the film as well. For Man and Witch's comic roles of the talking sheep, goose, and a dog, which will be portrayed by a mixture of real animals and puppets. Nice. No, like production is set to begin. Late this sport in New York City. This sounds awesome. I mean, if you're the 80s always had some really iconic, decent, fantasy films. Whether you're talking about, whether you're talking about a Never-Ending Story, whether you're talking about Highlander, the 80s is just was great for fantasy-based films and sci-fi films, of course. Back to the Future and all. I mean, having a cast like this, you got some 80s icons in this film. This sounds like it could be something really cool. It could be terrible too. That's a possibility. But I mean, it's always cool to see anything that feels like a love letter to 80s. Whether you talk about Stranger Things, The Go-Birds, and I always love a good love letter to the 80s. It makes me wish I was born in the 80s. Sadly, I was born in 1992, which okay, but that aside, Man and Witch sounds intriguing. I cannot wait to check this one out. Anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are your thoughts on the soundings of this new fantasy film, Man and Witches? Do you like the sound of it? Do you like the cast involved? And what are some of your favorite 80s fantasy films? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Timu signing off.